Is this good right here, Jen? Yeah. Cool. I'm a rapper.
That's hot.
We're all rolling. Camera's rolling. Sound is rolling.
Jan Wayne Swayze presents the FREE99 podcast. Be sure to follow us on SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Twitch, Instagram. Search FRE99 podcast. Shout out to all those sponsors. Shout out to all those listeners. Jan in the building. No Mike. What's up, Jan? There he is. Rommel in the building.
Now, who's hot? Who's not? Tell me who rock? Who sell out in the stores?
See, you just contradicted everything you just said earlier. You're not going to talk about it.
The good thing I like that song.
See, thank you. I know my guest.
Sweet. Pernell Whitaker came out to that song against De La Hoya.
Ooh. Bars, that's knowledge, y'all.
I am the good homie Gus Customer Service, and this is episode 168.
168
of the FREE99 podcast. And Rommel, please introduce the
people who
yes, so much energy in the room right now. I'm digging it, man.
We are on location.
Come on.
At Evolve Gym in South San Francisco. And
Come on.
I am honored to have on I'll still call him my fucking coach. He's still my coach, Coach Jay, who is part owner of the gym as well as the talented D&D master. I'm talking about Steve Choke and a Smile McGrath.
Which is a great Instagram name, by the way.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you,
gentlemen. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, so I have to say, it truly is an honor to have both of you on. Jay, I said this when Brandon was on.
The time you called me an asshole?
The time I did call you an asshole. But not
I didn't say
technically
that.
not technically you. I said I was looking for an asshole. And we found each other.
There's an asshole for everyone out
Everyone
there, right?
everyone needs at least one asshole in their life.
Yes.
I have at least one.
That is fact.
No, but in all honesty, I was in a really dark spot in my life. It was like 3:10 or something, and I hit up Steve over here on Facebook Messenger, and I said, I need a coach. I need somebody to be an asshole. Somebody to I don't need somebody to sugarcoat anything. And he says, I know just the guy. And he introduced me to Jay, and this was way before Evolve. This is when, man, you had so many steps. You had your own facility. You were doing it out of
the Performance Center.
The Performance Center, Genentech. We're not going to talk about that. But I was a part-time employee
Sneaking
there.
people in illegally.
Exactly.
Hey, you're married to this person.
Yeah,
That's your spouse.
I was a part-time employee there, and they gave me fruit when I exited the gym. But yeah, Jay, I love you, man. I love this gym. I will continue to pay even if I don't go, because I want to support and love you guys. So it's an honor to have you guys here. There's so much history between us.
So the intro was Steve to Jay for you.
Yeah. So Steve actually introed me to Jay, and Steve and I went to school together. He says it's Mr. Connor's class. Miss. And I didn't pay attention in school at all.
Kind of accurate.
Yeah, there was 3 things I paid attention to: is girls, lunch, and then
cargo pants.
That's all I wore.
Cargo shorts, a lot of cargo pants.
So yeah, Steve, thank you for that introduction. Jay, let's just dive into it, man. Like, how have you been? What's new with you? I know it's been a while since I've talked to you, and a lot of things have happened. The pandemic, you got 2 dogs, switched locations. What's going on with you?
Yeah, the pandemic hit us hard. We were rolling. It's actually, this is the date last year, 3 years ago, when the world went bananas.
Oh, that's right.
Yesterday was the date when Rudy Gobert started touching all the microphones when he had COVID, and so yeah, Evolve was rolling.
That's right. I remember that Rudy Gobert. Yeah. He was all joking around
Donovan
about
Mitchell,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell. He slathered his face.
Yeah,
with
and
his hands.
he was like touching all the mics and everything.
Yeah, he was just and then days later, the world goes bananas, and so we shut down relatively early just because we weren't really sure what was going on, and then sure enough, the next day, this guy fucking says, bro, I have a sore throat. I don't feel well. And I'm like, great. Damn, fuck, did I touch him? We're like all doing this. And then we're doing the backtracking thing. Well, who did you train with? Well, I trained with this person, but this person trained with 7 people. So now I'm calling like 21 people saying, hey, Coach Steve's going to take a COVID test. And obviously
they didn't have it back then, though, right?
No, he didn't have it. So he didn't have COVID back then. But no, so the world went bananas. And, we, in a time where people were closing down, because things weren't working out, Mark and I went to a bigger location.
Yeah, you did.
So we're here.
You thrived within the pandemic, and I remember during the pandemic you were doing a lot of was it Zoom? You're doing like Zoom
Online courses?
Yeah, online courses.
It was brutal.
I bet it was.
Like it was just brutal. But at that time it was the way to go, right?
Yeah.
And so
adapt for the moment, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's funny, Andre Iguodala invested in Zoom like 2 years before all this happened. And so it's just like
that.
So that dude's just always on something. But so yeah, we just tried to quickly pivot, and we were able to get into this location the beginning of 2021.
Wow.
And we just slowly, and like I said, man, Steve is a big part of this gym's success. He's
flowers of Steve.
He's that soldier, that kind of really kept us going. And so here we are, 3 years later.
Look of the Irish.
Making it happen, So we beyond blessed to be where we are today. And
right? Yeah.
Funny, these two guys went to El Camino, but I went to South City. So we're right across the street from South City High.
So he's a true warrior.
He's actually a true warrior, yeah. He probably held the bell a majority of the years as well.
Always.
Yeah.
You guys didn't touch that.
But you do have, and I don't know if we want to talk about this, but you do have ties to El Camino.
My mom, yes.
Yeah.
My mom, my business partner, Coach Mark. Yeah, but my mom, it's funny, my mom got into the school district 2 years after, or I think she was working in the lunchroom, and so then she kind of floated on, my reputation.
Yep, here we go.
All these people, and so she's got a reputation of her own. She's crazy, but talking shit to people and stuff like that.
She definitely busted me smoking cigarettes near the pool, for sure. Yeah, Laura, love you too. She's amazing.
I heard to your first jiu-jitsu class, you took a limo there. Is that true?
What? Wait, whoa.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah, we did, but because it was in San Francisco, and so how are you going to park there?
You feel me?
All that kind of stuff.
Oh,
and
that's
so
smart.
I had,
That's actually smart.
a good friend of mine. Well, at the time, I was part owner of the limo, and I didn't make any
You
money.
weren't driving though.
No, not at all. No. But
He owned the better half of the limo.
and I didn't make any money because my friends and I would terrorize the limo. And I don't drink.
Yeah.
I do not drink. Everyone that knows me knows I don't drink.
Back then.
And so, no, I still.
Yeah, but
And so, we go out, and then I got to, pay $350.
Drive to San Jose. Why would you go to San Jose?
damn.
Well, I mean, same thing.
Yeah.
You're going to get busted cruising. And
Might as well, right?
You might as well just go to San Jose.
Smarter. I like that.
So,
Shout out Alberto.
Yeah, Alberto, yeah. He benefited from that also. Yes, he did.
I think that's one thing that I want to point out is, a lot of your businesses, a lot of your strengths were built on relationships, right? Your strong relationships with people. The fact that you made it through the pandemic was because you built a following, a community around your school, which helped you kind of uplift through that. And even with Steve, built that relationship where it just continues to give back. The relationship that you and I have, when it started, fucking 10 years ago?
No. 13.
13 years ago.
2010.
2010. Man. He was, Jay was he was coaching me to health. He helped me go from 310 to 230. And I'm not talking time, folks. So that's pounds, bro. And he did that in a matter of less than a year.
Yep.
And it was nuts. And, I didn't think I could do it.
I didn't think you could either.
It's good to know.
I had my doubts, man.
There were so many stories. It wasn't always fucking lollipops and sunshine, though.
It didn't even start off good.
No, it didn't. I think when we
lollipops at the beginning.
Lollipops in the beginning. Then he tried to strip away
They're
from my
calling you a
hands.
sucker.
So, Jay, do you remember that when we first started training together, it happened to be around the Giants? It happened to be around the Giants' run for the World Series. Did anything particular stick out to that?
Yeah, I almost killed you.
Yeah. This is just one of the first times that he almost
It was our second session.
Oh.
It was in 2010, and it was Game 5 of the divisional series when the Giants were playing the Braves. And so I was like, fuck, I don't feel like going, but I was like, I got this new guy. I got to put my best foot forward.
Fucking new guy.
So my wife and I go there, and the new guy doesn't show up. So I was like, all right. And so we get in the car, and then I get a voice message. And he says, hey, Jay, this is Rommel. I'm not going to make it to training today because, I'm going to watch the Giants game. And, today's a very important game because if the Giants win, then they go to the next game, which potentially puts them in line to go to the World Series, which means they could be champions. And
Best excuse ever or not?
It wasn't.
So I'm listening to this message. Like, I've been playing baseball since I was 4 years old, so this guy's talking to me like I'm from fucking Kazakhstan. So I'm just sitting there going,
Shout out to Kazakhstan.
Shout out to Kazakhstan.
who does this guy,
guy?
who does this guy think he is? And so it was just like, he was a charmer. I mean, at the end of the day, this dude was a charmer. And so my wife was like, are you mad that he just flaked on you? I said, no, I'm mad because he's insulting me that I don't know what the fuck this game means.
Yeah, exactly. As everyone here on the podcast knows, I tend to overshare and go too much into detail.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the day that I found out that you don't do that.
No, you found out your next session.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Because just around the same time, for those Catholics out there, shout out to you Catholics, it was the Lenten season. And
You got mushed.
we had a session. We had a session on Friday, and every good Catholic knows that on Fridays you don't eat meat. Go ahead, Jay.
So his job was to give a food log.
Oh.
Because you give a food log because you sit back and you say, well, this is probably the reason why he's not losing weight or, something like that, right?
This
So
is true. He also taught me that peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are not a good source of protein.
No.
Yeah.
And so he gives me his food log and we're about to start the session. And I said, you had pizza? And he was like, and then once again, he treats me like I'm from fucking Tibet. And he's like, well, Catholics on Fridays, they have salmon. And I said, but you didn't have to have the fucking salmon on the pizza. I go, get on the fucking bike and I'll talk to you later.
That's what he said.
Oh, you had salmon pizza?
I had salmon pizza. I had salmon pizza. You know what?
Because he was Catholic.
Because I'm Catholic and part Italian. One of those is a lie.
Barriere.
Baviera.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh shit, it's my girl. Anyways, don't Google me. So yeah, but like Jay said, it's these little moments in our lives that bring us together, and he tends to remind me every time we talk to him. But
He's sweating already and he's talking to you. He's like,
I'll tell you what, we started recording at 7. I got ready at 5. I've been sweating since 3:30 because
Sitting in his car waiting.
Because I knew I was going to hear this shit.
it can't be late.
Exactly.
In his defense, I mean, to go from 3:10 to 2:30, he worked hard. And that's when it comes down to something like that and you lose that kind of weight, you got to have a why you're doing that and a bigger want than anything else. And so Rommel, believe it or not, he's got some dog in him.
Rough.
Not just Labrador, but I mean, he's got dog in him.
More like Chihuahua, but...
No, man.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
No, there ain't no Chihuahua
It might be
here.
45
I might have ate a Chihuahua.
Pomeranian.
But and that's why he knows he can do it, and so no, we worked hard and to be able to develop these relationships, like you said, it's quite a blessing to be able to come here 13 years later and be a part of the amazing thing that you guys are doing and just the journeys collide and we go together.
My man's a natural. I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Jay is a fucking natural.
He's a natural.
I mean, Jay, you have to understand all facets of Jay. I mean, this man, right? He's recently he was out doing work with Hickson Gracie, the legendary Hickson Gracie, and mind you, that is not the first legend that Jay has worked with besides Steve over here.
Come on.
Steve, I have to say, Steve, what I do remember about us being on the mat is that you were the first person to choke me out, where I started actually like passing out. Like,
Did Rommel have a Filipino house smell when you were wrestling with him?
wow.
Everyone here is from this area. You know there's that Filipino house smell. Did Rommel have that smell? Like,
Yeah.
yep, here comes.
It smelled like adobo and steamed rice.
Maybe salmon pizza.
Maybe the salmon pizza.
Come on, bring it back.
Depends what day it was.
It's only because I eat with my hands, folks. That's Filipino tradition, all right?
I'm gonna feign ignorance and say that never happened.
But Steve, I mean, like, how long have you been rolling now? It's both of you. I mean, you know, that's been a journey. You both aren't blue belts. I mean, you both are. I mean, Jay's the sensei, so he's
I've been at it for about 16 years now.
16 years.
And so
That could drive.
So,
that can drive. Yes.
That could drive.
what made you get into it?
Actually, so my connection is with some of Jay's earlier students. Actually, I wrestled in high school, and then when I went to Skyline, I started wrestling there, and then decided that I had other things that I wanted to do, like hang out with girls and things like that.
You wrestled at Elko? Sorry, you wrestled at Elko?
Wrestled at El Camino.
Was
and
Ray
then-
Reyes one of your coaches?
No, our coaches were Gabe Ochoa, Joey Martinez,
Oh,
Chris Rendon, Skyline wrestlers at the time. And so they were kind of building us up and trying to funnel us into Skyline.
Pretty much building their own team and just like, come on over.
Well, yeah, and so training at Skyline, I met a guy by the name of Jason Nazell, and shout out to Jay Naz.
Tough motherfucker.
Just absolute beast. And so we made a connection through wrestling, and just over the years hanging out. One day he tells me, "Hey man, I went to Jitsu with my buddy Felipe."
Jitsu. Oh, Felipe!
Yeah.
Shout out to Felipe.
Right, and so Felipe, being one of Jay's students, he, being a friend of Jay Naz,
Right.
knowing that Jay Naz was a stud wrestler, wanted to get him involved. Jay Naz, knowing that I was a big fan of UFC and jiu-jitsu and just looking for something to kind of get competitive again and
Yeah.
work out. And Jay Naz was like, "Hey man, you want to do it?" And I was like, "Yes." And so
So tell us about your first session with Jay.
my first session with Jay was very, very tough. There's a great story that Jay tells much better than I do, and it's actually
He is a natural.
he is a natural, and it's actually a nickname of mine that was the punchline of that story.
Oh,
So,
Wednesday.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Jay?
the legend of Wednesday.
Jay, you're up. Tell us about how you broke Steve's soul on the first day.
No, you tell him the training. You can talk about the training part.
So, I mean, it was my first experience with jiu-jitsu, so I and my first time back on the mats doing anything. So
And you're a big fan of wrestling.
yes, big
So
fan
did you
of
get a power bomb in, or what happened?
No, actually, that happened on my third class, I believe. that actually literally happened on my third class.
No stunner, huh?
No stunner.
No stunner.
No suplexes, but
Suplex.
but yeah, no, we were
Boston Crabs, no?
no, we were honestly we were just practicing. It was breaking the guard, passing the guard, battling, and trying to get to the mount, trying to keep someone in your guard. Jay had a lot of really good situational drills for us.
Yeah.
Kept it super simple because I didn't know anything.
Yeah,
So-
I can attest to that. That Jay's style of training to kind of drill that one thing, that one lesson, and go back and forth, and it kind of grills it in. And I didn't really understand the methodology before, but I do now, where it comes as second nature when you're actually in the battle. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
No. I mean, but you hit the nail right on the head. It made it a very fun, exciting thing for me, and I had a great time. And so, as I was leaving, I was exhausted. And
So I said to him,
Here we go.
it was on a Monday, and so I said, "You coming back tomorrow?" And then all of a sudden, this dude, no, I'll be back Wednesday. I won't be here tomorrow, but I'll be back Wednesday. And I was like, fuck, this dude did not talk to me like this for 2 hours.
He was like, "Sir, here for jujitsu."
Yeah, my name is Blair. Right? So then all of a sudden he comes out with Wednesday, and it just stuck. And
How long after?
it's on my phone. WINZDAE, not Wednesday. Because one time this one guy came and said, "Yeah, I dropped off the money to Wednesday." I was like, "Hey, bro, we don't
have a Wednesday here, sir.
We got a Wednesday." And so
It makes sense though, as a coach, a jiu-jitsu coach, you only want all days to be Wednesdays.
oh yeah.
No, and ever since then,
That was a swing and a miss. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
yeah, that's why I'm jumping in. Really quick.
See, that's why I see. He knows me, man.
Try to throw
Keeps
you
it rolling.
Throw you a life jacket
And I'm over here eating salmon pizza. Go ahead.
and interrupting me. But at that point, that's when that journey starts. And man, to look, Steve sacrificed a lot. He's super helpful. He had a great job, and he believed in my vision.
Yeah.
And so now, he's really the, our right-hand man here at Evolve. And so, and Steve had many phases. He was a competitor. Now he's evolved into an instructor. But one thing I will say, from a competitive standpoint, when you do a martial art, not only do you have to believe in what the coach is saying to you, but you have to believe in yourself.
Right.
And there's no other way to be able to play that out but like in a tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the highest level of stress.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
And so one tournament we go to, Steve was going to be a coach. And so we get to Jefferson High School, and Steve was feeling himself, and he's like, "What, man, I should compete today." He's looking around.
Compete
sizing
today.
Sizing everybody
Today?
up. And so
Go on,
you don't
Steve.
say that around me. So I said, "Hey, motherfucker, go get your gi." And he looked at me, and I said, "Go get your gi." And so he went and got his gi, and
What belt was he at this time?
he was a blue belt, and he had to go into the pre-Rommel division, which was the 300-pound division. And so
Shout out to
y'all. Yeah.
Shout out. Yeah, I would win that division because I was the only one that heavy back then. So
and
Boys.
so Steve went out
Yeah,
there,
big
and
boys.
he ended up taking second, but he was battling.
wait, second out of how many?
There was many of you.
Thick boys. Shout out to the
But he
thick
had-
boys out
And
there.
then, 300 it doubles. Like, so
Yeah.
per person is two.
For Sparta.
Yeah, and so he.
Battle Royale.
But one of that day really stuck out to me because I put him on blast, and he, kind of walked the talk.
Yeah.
But he was down, 7-0, and
Wow.
it was like he was able to kind of get his wits about himself,
Right.
get himself back to the guard, get the sweep, get the mount, and he ended up winning that match by points.
Wow. He came back. Wow.
But not just that tournament, there was other instances where he would be down like 5-0 and he would submit the guy. And so every time Steve is on the mat, I never doubt him. Like one time we were at Stanford, I was pretty lucky to get this gig over at Stanford, and so we got all these college kids that are just built like brick shit houses. And this one dude, he had wrestled for the Air Force Academy, and so he was going with one of our tough guys, and they were kind of battling back and forth. And Steve went with the guy the next round, and the guy was all over Steve. And I'm training too with these guys, but I'm trying to keep my eye on our guys. And I just 2 minutes later, I look over and Steve's just got this dude gift wrapped, got his back ready. And so that's
Annie Ann's pretzel.
No samples.
Man, you gotta love Annie Ann's pretzels.
You
but
gotta
man,
come on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man, when you go there,
Yeah.
those titas, they be taking forever.
If there's anything we know Tita is for, it's for taking forever.
Yeah.
If there's two people in line in front of you, it's a 30-minute wait.
Yeah. Because it's made with love.
I would rather be made by Hot Sam.
Shout out to Hot Sam's in San Bruno. Oh,
What is Hot
Right?
Sam's?
you don't know about Hot Sam's in
No.
San Fran? Oh,
outta
that
here.
was my shit.
No, who goes to Tanford anymore?
Dude, I'm gonna take your seat because if you don't know what Hot Sam's is, you don't belong on this podcast.
I'm gonna Yelp it so I don't look like an idiot anymore.
Yeah, you used to get 6-packs and all that kind of stuff. It was the best, dude. Upstairs in Tanforan.
Upstairs. And
Oh,
Orange
this
Louis
is
was
before,
downstairs.
okay.
And it had his own
Pretzels.
store.
That's why I only stayed downstairs in Tanford.
Yeah, it's going up the stairs. It's going up the stairs will require some effort.
So, Coach, I wanted to talk to you about that coaching, right? The important thing about coaching, like you said, is that the person has to believe in themselves, but also to listen to the plan, right? Stick to the plan and listen to the plan. How frustrating is it when someone that you're coaching is unable to stick to the plan? And do you have any stories about that?
Well, I mean, Maybe we should have started earlier, but Steve wasn't always the greatest competitor. Because his first match was a shit show.
Oh, man. Very much so, yeah.
Do you remember your first match, Steve?
I do.
Let's hear it, Steve.
Oh, man.
Let's see this from two different perspectives, Steve. Go ahead. Let's hear it from the fighter's perspective.
Oh, this fighter's perspective is going to be the exact same as his. So we get ready for this tournament, and I'm pumping myself up. Oh, yeah, I'm going to go against this guy. And I step out on the mats, and I see the guy. I'm like, fuck, this guy's bigger than I thought he was. Like, you sure you're in my weight division? And I don't know, maybe it's perspective, but I always felt like, fuck, dude, I should be bigger than some of these guys, but I wasn't. But we kind of lock up a little bit, and there's a little grip fighting, and he goes to try and snap me down. I'm like, oh, perfect. I'm going to use this to take my shot. And I got in on a real nice double leg and stopped.
You just stopped straight up.
Just stopped. Like
Well, the
froze.
gi did friction.
Got it.
And then next thing I know, this guy's just like, I'm gonna try and run. I think I tried to finish it. Next thing I know, he's on top of me.
Pancakes.
Got me flattened out. I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do? And I just kind of like went blank. I didn't, frame, didn't bump, didn't scoot. Like just started looking like a dead fish. And I think the guy like started attacking a Kimura, and I'm trying to stop it. I'm trying to muscle my way out of it, and he just cranks it all the way back. I'm like, oh, something popped. Like, oh, hey, stopped, and and I lost. And
no shit.
No shit.
Yeah.
Right? But the aftermath of it was looking at the video.
Yeah.
Because in the video, during the match, I couldn't hear anything, right? Like all I heard was like just a bunch of other yelling and the bells of other matches going off, and the referee saying time. When I watched the video, the only voice I heard was Jay's. And it was, I knew as soon as I took the shot, it was, turn the corner, finish. What the fuck is he doing?
This is your first match ever?
This
16 years ago.
Bro, this is my first jiu-jitsu match.
How long did it take you to kind of hone into that voice?
Immediately.
Right after?
Right after that. I could hear only Jay.
After a while, we didn't even need the voice. It was a look. It was like, motherfucker.
I know that look.
I know that look as well. I need to relearn that look, and I'm pretty sure after this podcast, I will have it ingrained in my soul.
Yes.
Yeah.
It will be burned.
It'll
etched.
be burned in. I did want to ask you, you both are now coaching, right? No more competing from both of you?
Competing, to be a competitor, you kind of have to be selfish.
Yeah.
And
That's a
fucking
bar.
right
That's
there,
a bar right there.
you gain a lot more, I feel, from contributing to the success of others. You can give more to a larger number of people.
Yeah.
Myself particularly, I'm kind of focused in with the kids.
Right.
I mean, I have an investment in the adults, but my primary focus is on the kids, and so just their development in general means a lot more to me than a gold medal or anything like that.
It's more fulfilling.
Yeah, very much so.
What's a harder class to teach, kids or adults?
Adults.
Yeah, it's like Dangerous Minds, bro.
Kids. Well, here, listen. Kids are difficult in one way, but adults just choose not to listen. Right, and
The Giants are playing.
or they
Game 5.
or they come up with excuses like
Look,
that.
guys, I explained in detail. I wanted to ask you, teaching children, it's fulfilling, and I understand it's kind of a journey for each of them. Do you notice a difference with kids these days versus maybe your first round of kids? Are they like a little bit
That's
softer?
a good question.
Are they harder, or do you see anything different? Jay, I'd like you to answer this too, because obviously you've been in the game longer.
Are you on TikTok now because of these kids? Are they adding you?
I'm going to be honest with you. I think it depends on the kid, and I think it depends on the parent. Everything is situational.
That's fair.
But obviously the parents that are getting their kids involved in something like jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai, and particularly the ones that stick around here, they buy into the community and the culture that Jay and Coach Mark have kind of created. And so just to...
The family that you guys cultivated here, right?
And by them buying into that and just letting them know that it is a partnership, we can have an impact and kind of steer them in the right direction. Yeah. But the goal is to keep them at it for as long as possible.
Right.
And so we as they get older, obviously we compete with other things, but if we can kind of keep that partnership going, that's where I feel we have those big turnarounds, and you can have the effect that you're talking about.
I see. Yeah. Jay, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, even for me, I started judo at the age of 5.
Fuck.
And
where's your school at? For school?
Judo?
Yeah.
It was over on near Eastmoor, this little hole in the wall, Koyakan Judo, and my dad was a black belt, and so he kind of pushed me into it, and so I enjoyed it, but much like a lot of the kids these days, I preferred baseball and what I always called the glamour sports.
Yeah, exactly. Something more glamorous.
Yeah, and so I kind of like put that on hold, to play all those glamour sports, and then here I am coming full circle. This is what I do for a living, and so we always knew that we were up against catechism, and man, parents these days, they got their kids in everything. Piano,
multiple
water polo, every sport, and then these sporting teams now.
Water polo,
Kumon.
Yeah. 2 doors down, and so
you're competing with Kumon. Right?
Yeah, and so you've
and
got,
then the boba spot too. You're competing with the boba spot.
No, seriously, everything, and the attention of these kids, and so it's tougher. And like Steve said, it's that partnership, and for us, all we want is to help these kids listen.
Yeah.
We want these parents to tell us, they're picking up their own dishes and they're putting them away. They're brushing their teeth without us telling them. They're doing their homework. And so, we say here, we don't just want champions on the mat. We want these kids to be champions in life.
Right, because I think, that's something that needs to be said too, with coming in and learning jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai, kind of having the guidance of you two, it's instilling that work ethic, right? Mm-hmm. It expands further from the mat.
Definitely. I mean, the way you behave in here during class is indicative of how you're going to be behaving in school, when you're out with your parents. Are you going to be the kid that's acting up at the restaurant or in the movie theater, screaming? Can you follow instructions? We're given a blueprint for the parents to kind of bring home as well. They obviously have the things that they're going to be doing, but the way you see how we structure the class, I think that kind of sends a message that, hey, this is something that you're going to carry at home also.
Right.
If your kid can't be coachable, there might be a chance your kid is unemployable. Because
y'all are fucking spitting right now, I'm telling you the truth.
And so that's kind of what the reality of it is, and the world has changed.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
And so it's just so fragile, and that's kind of where, that asshole that Rommel met in 2010.
Still my favorite asshole.
That person could get sued every day. And so that's why you just kind of sit back and just, you got to kind of pivot the way the world is going today. But we have our morals and ethics, and what we believe in, and what we feel our role in helping kids develop, and even adults for that matter. But things have definitely changed.
Yeah, and I think it's important to state too that Jay and I joke around, and I say we say that he's an asshole. He says that I eat salmon pizza, which is actually factual. But this is something that's it's a special relationship that we've built, right? These are things that I'm assuming Jay does with each of his students, right? You kind of you read them, right? And adults or children, you read them and see kind of what their threshold is, what they can handle. Obviously, you need to kind of be a bit more careful of what you say nowadays, because, like you said, I mean, we have to just call it like it is. Kids and people are just a bit more sensitive.
It's funny, I think, I don't know if we have an asshole counter, but I've been stated to be an asshole almost 5 times on this podcast so far.
Not once by me. Just
I want to stay fast. But it's the guy that has someone in front of him.
I was, by the way, I said it once, and I was just quoting that first time every other time. So.
No, but think about something. If I'm an asshole or an asshole that day, you guys pretty much know my personality or what have you.
Yeah.
We've got 600 members, and I'm dealing with 30, 40 people on the mat.
Yeah.
I've got to deal with all those different fucking personalities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's kind of where, you know, someone may respond more to the, you know, the tough love, or someone may.
That's what I needed, right? You saw that, you know, that's what I was looking for, and yeah, you're not an asshole.
He was getting to that.
Yeah, don't hurt me. Don't please hurt me.
Please continue.
But so it's just really our job as coaches to just kind of read what makes you tick, and that's kind of the connection. And yeah, I like to keep things light and you know, laughing, and that's the thing, right? We want to keep things here at Evolve really traditional and respectful, but we also want, and that's one of the things that I can, and we're going to elaborate on that later, but the biggest thing is the culture.
Yeah.
You know, it's feeling a part of something. And, you know, when these kids come in here, these parents, and the parents are a challenge. You know, you know, I've had some parents tell me how to coach. And,
Wow. I'm sorry I said that.
what belt are you? And I think they're like a black
Leather.
belt. Calvin Klein.
Yeah, leather, and it's reversible because the buckle can swivel.
Yeah.
But they've probably had two looks at YouTube, you know.
Yeah.
So they know what's going on, and so it's a bit challenging. But you know, like I said, it's our job to pivot. If you trust us and believe in us, you'll get past that shield, right? You'll see that, you know, hey, these guys are, you know, their heart is in the right spot. They want nothing more than to just see our kids thrive, and you know, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I mean, and again, to be completely honest, you know, Jay and I, we joke around and everything, and we say all of these funny stories, but you know, what we didn't talk about were all of the times that I was going through some shit, and Jay was there through text, in person, staying after class and talking to me, trying to figure out what's going on. So I think that's one thing that's important about Evolve, and Jay and Coach Mark and Steve, is that
Fucking therapist.
It's me, I think.
yeah, I guess so.
Welcome. Yeah.
It's true, and that's the thing, you know. It's they build relationships, and that is the foundation of this place, and that's why I love this place. You know, I haven't been, and that's another thing that we wanted to talk about. It's accountability.
Rommel speaks highly of you guys, of his relationship here with everyone here, and it's dope to me to see it come full circle and actually meet everyone and be like, you guys unloaded him onto me. Thanks. Now you guys get the membership, but I get all the sessions.
Yeah, and
We're gonna have to fix his ass again.
well, I mean, like, you know, we had Brandon here, not on the show, who's you know, family to the show now, and you know, he was talking about how not only did he spend over 4 hours at Evolve, helping with the kids, right? Going into boxing at 5:15, staying for Muay Thai at 6:30, sparring at 7:15, going home at 9, right? Not only that, but you took your time out of your day to help him train for his Spartan race. He said you had him run you upstairs with a weighted vest on.
Yeah, I mean, to go back to your first point, like, you know, Evolve has, you know, Mark and myself, you know, obviously Coach Steve, but it takes selfless people like Brandon, you know, and man, you know, just because he worked next door, that wasn't a slam dunk.
No.
Like, I know people that live very close or even come to the gym and like, you know, I'm not even going to change my clothes today. So, you know, that's a huge shout out to Brandon. To get in there and do the kids class and take those multiple classes. And, you know, he bought into everything, you know, and yeah, you know, he mainly did work with Mark, but he wanted to get ready for his Spartan race. And I said, yeah, I'll get you ready. And we went to Maury Point, these stairs in Pacifica, and we would sprint the stairs.
Crazy,
you know. And yeah, you know, and the thing with him also, and that's my thing, right? Like, I love people that work. You know, when you come in and you work, that just drives my energy. I feel like I can connect with you. I can feel like now I can find that avenue to get a little bit more out of you. Right? And Brandon, you know, he told me about a little bit of his injuries. We were able to work around them, and that dude worked, you know, and he was in excellent shape. And And I mean, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Sit there and tell him what to do? As I sit there and eat a pretzel, you know? And so I was like,
Only if it's from Hot Sam's.
Yeah, right. Well, they were probably in my car after, but it was like, I had to work too, because I wanted to bring the best out of him, and he, actually brought the best out in me, and he said he did great in that. He said he felt awesome.
He said he was like in the top 50, top 200.
He said he was like 86 out of 7,000.
And I don't doubt it. I mean, like I said,
that's damn near Clay Aiken status right there.
He put in the work, man. He put in the work. So shout out to Brandon for sure.
And that's another thing I remember too. If somebody gets injured, remember I dislocated my knee, and you just kind of restructured everything on the fly. It's like, all right, well, we'll figure this out. Let's strengthen this knee.
Did you pop it back in?
Yeah, it was.
I mean, was it popped back in on site?
No, I only do shoulders. we have a story about a shoulder that we did at my other gym, but the thing with the knee is, I got good at that type of stuff because I had multiple surgeries on my knee. And so, I'm the greatest guinea pig alive, and so. And that's the thing also, right? Like, it's that trust thing, because a lot of people would just be like, I'm just going to wait till what my doctor says and blah, blah, blah. And, I've gotten to know some of the doctors over at Peninsula Orthopedic, and to where they're like, I train with Jay. And he's like, yeah, well, he can rehab your knee or he can do your shoulder. And so, I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but
it's good. It's good. I can attest to that. It's definitely good.
But to be able to do those types of things and help people, because people are just, they kind of get into this. Well, I got to go to physical therapy, and I don't have anything against physical therapy, but they are on the conservative side. Just because they don't want anything to kind of come back to them, and so thankfully I don't care. And so
let's get you rolling.
Yeah, it's like someone's like, I hurt
my doing on the sideline for it.
I hurt my knee yesterday. I think I'm going to take a week off. I'm like, no, I think you should go on the bike and get
take a lap,
get some circulation.
What's wrong with your arms?
Get some circulation going, and so it's a different mindset. I mean, blood flow is great for everything.
Right. And that's true. I mean, I've learned so many different things through Evolve. There was that the stretching that you used to do, and we did like all of these different. I forgot, what was it called?
Ginástica Natural.
Yeah, Ginástica Natural. That going through, meeting so many other or doing so many other classes from guest guest fighters, and man, I can't honestly speak enough about Evolve. Which is again a topic at hand. Jay and I were talking.
No, I think the topic at hand is you coming back.
Yeah,
because we got a little sideways on that. So I'm going to run this podcast now.
Go for it.
Are you coming back?
I'm coming back. I'll be back. And I think this is a perfect way to use this platform. You can, for accountability purposes, you can follow it on Evolve. You can follow it on FREE99. You can follow it on me if I like you, or you can follow it on Jay if he likes you.
You better be right, because I ain't putting no fucked up dude on my shit.
No, I think I like it. Like I said, I didn't get this double chin for nothing. It's because I love you, and I
double up.
Yeah, exactly.
Double up.
I told Jay and I talked about this in length before. The first time we got together, it was fucking magic. He helped me lose all of this weight. He got me in a better mindset. Let's fucking do it again. So yeah, I'll be coming back.
Yeah, I mean, I think for you, you've had the success before.
Right.
And like I said earlier, you've got to have that want.
Yeah.
Like one of the things I learned, verbiage is everything. To say I have to go to the gym today. No, you don't. You want to go.
Right.
Just like people say, well, I have to go to work. And like the guy was like, you don't have to go to work.
Yeah.
So you can go to Mexico today if you want to.
Yeah.
But you're choosing to do this. Yeah. And at the end of the day, I can't make you do anything. And that's the thing, right? Us as trainers, right now everything's on YouTube. Right? Like everything's on YouTube, everything's out there. Like there's always something more and better that's going on.
Yeah.
But I think for me, it's accountability.
Yeah.
And whether Rommel doesn't want to let me down or himself down or anything like that, that's why I get paid the big bucks, right? It's because you can ask Steve. I had 2 talks with Steve that changed his, many talks, but that changed his life forever.
Yeah.
The first one was, Steve was, you can say the second one. The first one, Steve had, he had known us for about a year or so, and super helpful, but he would just come in and help out with the kids and help out at the performance center. Then he would just kind of take off, and I would see him come in a little stressful, and I just kind of took him in the back, and I said, listen, man, I said, you're an amazing dude. You are super selfless. You do a lot for me, but you're not going to be able to help me or any of these kids if you don't take care of yourself. So you got to come here and find this balance.
Right.
And, after that, he took that to heart, got himself into shape. That's when all those cool competing stories came in. And then, everyone needs a reminder, even myself, right? Like, just because I'm a trainer or we own a gym, like, I could spend $40 at 7-Eleven in a heartbeat.
Same. I have.
Big
yesterday.
gulps. Yeah, right?
Right.
Ho-hos.
Taquitos.
And, like, you get Reese's Pieces now, and it's just like, well, I got to buy 4 because there's 37 different types. They got the mint, they got the crunchy, they got the white ones, and so it's like
chips in it.
Yeah, and so yeah, I'm the first one for a pizza. So it's not like I'm this person that's this sacred, person. So that's why I also feel like people can relate to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm an idiot.
I remember we helped you move one time, and we went fucking ham on sushi afterwards. And I think it was like an all-you-can-eat spot.
Well, that's the only way you got to roll.
See?
To get full on sushi, you got to have like 37 of them.
Yeah,
exactly.
So just what I'm picking up from everything I'm hearing, what you guys are referring to, it's a mindset. What you guys are instilling, what you guys are teaching is like a mindset.
And sometimes you need a reminder,
yes.
Because there's just so many things that can distract you and take you away from this. But it takes a special kind of person, because even like Steve, when we had to have our second talk, and I don't know how much you want to share.
I'll show the punchline.
But what's the joke?
Well, I had let myself get out of shape and was making bad food decisions, and
I feel that.
Hey, man, the best of us fall out of it. And Jay was like, "Hey, listen, bro, I'm tired of seeing your tits." And so,
because he's wearing wife beaters, yeah, it's just like, bro,
So I mean, okay,
but I didn't say it in front of people. I said it.
That was a private conversation.
It was just to me.
It was very subtle.
And he looked me straight in the eyes.
It was
and
probably
he
the
goes,
only thing
"Listen,
subtle
bro,
in that
I'm
conversation.
tired of seeing your tits." So I
walked away,
and
yeah,
I went and looked in the mirror and I said, "Yeah, it's kind of disgusting." So did something about it, and they're gone.
They sure are.
Right?
They sure are. I can attest to that. That's a weird thing I just said.
And there we go.
Yeah, but
Romelin.
But what Jay said, it's all about accountability, and I think me coming back would be kind of a twofold thing, right? Proving it to myself. Do I still have it in me? Another thing is that I'm older, right? A lot of people kind of deal with that, struggle with that to see if they can still lose weight, be fit at an older age, if they can still do it. And I think I'm fucking out here to prove that we can. So
has his hair always been curly?
Don't get me started on his hair.
Yeah, I think he perms it. I don't know.
I don't perm my hair, Jay. We have secrets, right? There's some confidence in our conversation, so.
I don't know. I look at it and it's like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get. And then he's just, and that's the thing with him. Like, he'll walk in, like, he's chiseled 185 and doesn't, and I was like, oh, did you look in the mirror this morning?
Yeah.
Did you comb your hair with a rock?
Well, so I actually have a wavy mirror we got it from
Funhouse.
Funhouse mirror. So that's why
that.
I thought I was a chiseled 185 when I was just a wavy 230. Yeah. Jay, here at the FREE99 podcast, we do like to talk about food. And I know you have your share of food, and I know you've been around the block. So we have to ask you, and I don't know how much time you spent in San Francisco, but is it El Farolito or Guadalajara?
Come on. In the Excelsior, though. In the Excelsior, though. That Onondaga Mission corridor.
Guadalajara.
Come on.
Thank you.
That one's Guadalajara for me.
It's Guadalajara.
Jay.
I don't travel that far from
Okay, where do you go for Mexican food besides over here? Before growing up.
Well, I mean, from South City, you know, you got La Tapatía,
True, Grand.
yeah.
Grand got some.
the Morena.
Yeah.
That's right behind it, right? Yeah.
That's on Baden. Yeah.
Yeah.
So La Tapatia's on Grand, on Baden.
State room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They used to have wrestling events there, right?
they still do.
Yeah.
They do.
And a lot of quinceañeras.
Right before the quinceañera.
Yeah.
Couple winter balls.
Los Metates was my go. You know, it's funny. The cooks from La Tapatía went to Los Metates, and then they opened up down the street on Spruce.
Yeah.
What is that one called? Los Cuates.
Los Cuates, yes.
And so it's like I stalked these two Mexican cooks. It's just like, so yeah.
They don't even have Instagram. You just stalk them on
Yeah,
real life.
so it's just like, but that's the thing, right? Like burritos, pizza.
Where's your go-to pizza spot?
Toto's.
Toto's is up there, but man, I'll tell you guys something. Like,
Yeah.
I can do Round Table. Like
no,
I can.
hell
My
no.
wife is a round table head.
No,
King Arthur.
here's the thing
yeah.
about Round Table. The thing about Round Table, and I've said this before, Round Table, I hope you're listening, is that in order to buy Round Table pizza, you have to take out a loan.
Shout out to Alberto
From your
Zamudio.
house.
Who'll get you a loan.
And you got to have 2 forms of ID because that bitch is so expensive. Round Table pizza is one of the most expensive pizzas I've had, and I've had salmon on my pizzas.
See, that's the thing, right? Like,
Sometimes they put extra shit on.
I just worry about that shit later. I go chicken parmesan on one side, and then I go Hawaiian on the other side with no pineapples.
Okay. Now we're spitting. Now we're
for a round table pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I get
Maui
the
Zowie.
That's
then I
a
get
Maui
the,
Zowie
then I
without
get the
the Maui.
twisties.
Okay.
You got to get the twisties.
Yeah. Now you're at about $1,000. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so I mean that's kind of where it is. And then like they have this like my friend, he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna bring over this thin stuff, and I was like, bro, that's like making me eat a fucking newspaper. I don't want no thin ass pizza. You know?
Yeah. Binder paper.
And then they're like let's try the Chicago Square guys, and
Oh, you don't like square pizza?
Square pie guys, right?
I mean like. They put the sauce, and then it's like confusing. Like I just want a pizza.
Yeah.
That's
Where's just a regular pizza?
super simple.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? And so it's just like, so yeah. I mean, I don't. At the end of the day, I don't discriminate.
Yeah, well, no, we never discriminate with pizza.
But
not even Little Caesars, I'll be honest with you.
no, I mean,
They come
Oh,
up
hot and ready.
hot and ready.
and hey,
Feel me?
The hot and
and
ready.
if anyone needs to go to Costco, you go 2 slices with a chicken bake and a sundae.
Not a Wednesday,
Not a Wednesday, but a Sunday.
but maybe on a Wednesday.
But you definitely get all of that with Wednesday.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy?
Holler at Wednesday.
My wife and I, we were looking for a home, and then my sister, she lives over in Winston Manor, and every Monday at 5:25, Mr. Softy
Yes.
would come, and it has the voice, the song, and everything.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
Like you hear it, it's like fuck,
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan's coming out, right? Like,
I'm a real American.
and so my wife and I moved to San Mateo. And these motherfuckers park in front of my house.
They must have heard you.
And there's days where my wife is like, "Are you gonna go?" And I'm like, "No, I'm good." And I'm like, I step outside, and I'm like, "No." And then I was like, "Well, if they're still there when the commercial's on, then I'll go." And then like the next thing you know, I come out, I got it.
It's like $10 though for 2, right?
Yeah, it
It's
is.
so expensive.
Banana
now.
split's like $7.50. $7.50.
It's like $10 for like 2 of them.
And is there any foods that you struggle with, like that you're just like, fuck, I have to have this?
I gotta have that.
Yeah.
Pizza, burritos. Like I said, man, I don't discriminate. About
South City has a lot
I've
of.
got a question for you. Go ahead.
South City has a lot of like good delis, right?
Oh,
There's a lot of good delis,
Here
right?
we go.
Is Luluca's your number 1, or is it Tiana's?
Or do you go to
Giannis.
Roxy's if you do want to travel?
You know, that's the thing. My wife was a Roxy's guy. Alberto Zamudio, Beto, he's a Roxy's guy.
Shout to the Excelsior.
I've never
Roxy's
got
guy.
a Roxy's guy.
Really?
Yeah, like Little Luca, I went to South City, so at the time, any excuse to fucking cut class, I was going to Little Luca's sandwich spot. But I have one of my good friends, he bought all the Mr. Pickles chains.
What?
Yeah. And so
Got himself in a pickle.
yeah, he did.
Yeah.
But he did well in that pickle.
Yeah, he did.
Sold him off and moved that sack area. So yeah, I'm a Mr. Pickles guy. But I mean, now I get my sandwiches from Whole Foods, grain-free, gluten-free.
You say that with so much sadness.
Lactose free.
No, like even now we have cauliflower and cassava tortillas. Like my Mexican card has been taken away from me.
Yeah.
Because if you go to like a real, well, bro, like my wife, she makes the burrito nice and stuff like that. And so, man, when you get to this stage of your life, I don't know, like weird shit happens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
facts.
so you want to sit there and try to keep things in your favor, and so like I said, don't get me wrong, like when I have an opportunity for a cheat day, I'm like, I go both feet in.
Right.
And so it's funny, like we got we got Rommel a salad. No, we got him a burrito. And my wife was like,
did.
do you want anything from the burrito place? And I was just like, no, I'm good. She's like, you sure? And I was like, Steve and I had a burrito earlier.
And the truth comes out.
And so that's why I'm good. It's like, no wonder. I was like, no, I had it at 11:30 because I'm doing a 24-hour fast. And so I told Steve, hey, I'm just going to eat without you, bro, because the sooner I can eat today is the sooner I can eat tomorrow.
Right. I was gonna say because we also had our own. Thank you, G. We also had a lot of trips to Cleo's, and they shut down Cleo's.
The one that was on El Camino, or the one that was on the San Bruno Avenue?
San Bruno Ave.
San Bruno Avenue.
San Mateo Ave.
San Mateo, that's right.
But like you said, you moved to San Mateo. Now you got Espetus, right?
The funny thing is that we haven't gone there.
Wow.
And that was the thing, right? Like that's the treat.
Yeah.
Let's, I worked out great today, so let's go eat like a jackass.
Right. Exactly. Little
And
on this protein.
Man,
Right.
when I walk out of there, like I literally want to shoot myself. Like I feel horrible. And so it's just kind of like
Counterproductive.
I mean, at some point you got to just sit there and say, bro, you got to act right.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so
Yeah.
it's just kind of like, like I said, I can still get down, but it's just a shitty feeling.
It is the worst feeling because you just feel kind of like you want to die, like you just feel uncomfortable inside, right?
Yeah, no, and so
it's
that's
super
kind of where you just like, man, each day you're on this earth, you want to feel good,
True.
know, and so, yeah, I mean, like I said,
Mindset, y'all.
you have to
Mindset.
make
Mindset, y'all.
you have to make a different, outlook on things, and it's just kind of, because like for years, like my wife and I will go out and it's like, I'm pretty sure they spit in our food. We're like, none of this, none of that, and
Yeah.
you're just kind of like, fuck you guys.
We'll just make it at home now.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Yeah. We'll
and
spit
so-
in our own food.
George
Yeah.
Foreman this chicken for them.
Exactly, right? And so, but yeah, I mean, I like to eat.
Yeah, I like to eat too, but I don't like to be big, so that's why I'm coming back. So thank you, Jay. Let's fucking do this. Let's get it.
Let's do it.
I actually had a side question for man Steve right here.
Okay.
Oh shit, he's
All right.
digging into his phone. You're fucked.
I had,
You're fucked, bro. Sorry.
Clash of Kings.
Clash of Kings.
Robert Baratheon died. He's dead, right? During this time. Who should be the true king of the Seven Kingdoms? Or who should rule the Seven Kingdoms? So there was Daenerys Targaryen, Joffrey, Renly Baratheon, Stannis Baratheon, and Robert Stark.
It should be King Salami.
Are you asking me who I think?
Yeah,
Or okay. Who,
Your true, like, if you were to pick, who would rule the Seven Kingdoms?
Jon Snow, baby.
But then from that list.
Oh,
From that list.
And we said that so confidently too. Just no, baby.
But, you know, I
baby.
don't disagree. I don't disagree.
I mean, listen. If you're gonna follow what what's supposed to happen, then your man Stannis, right? But he's an asshole. So
That's the middle brother.
no.
That's the second brother, right?
Stannis was the older brother.
Was he?
Yeah. Renly was
Okay.
the younger one.
That's right.
Robert was the middle brother.
Robert was a.
Yes. I am a nerd. Yes.
No, I'm here for it.
Yeah, no.
I'm here for it. And
As soon as we're done here, I'm gonna go play Dungeons and Dragons.
that's what's up.
Right, I'm gonna go have some.
get that invite.
I'm gonna go have some Chevys, and yeah,
That's so cute.
Dungeons and Dragons.
What is the biggest misconception with bully breeds? Or bully breed? You know the bully.
I mean, they're working dogs.
Yes.
And so they're protectors, and I owned bullies, over 30 years ago, and yeah, they were fighting dogs. I never fought my dogs, and you walk in the streets and they're just like, hey, you want to fight your dogs? And I would always say, you know how they say the dogs are like the owners? Mm-hmm. How about you and I fight? You got a pretty good idea what will happen. So, but man, we pay for training for our dogs because we want them to act right.
Right.
And you go to these dog parks and you got these owners that are walking around on their phone and their little yapper dog is just going crazy. And so,
Fuck them dogs, man.
and that's the thing, right? Like, you can get all the training you want, but essentially it's the trainer teaching me
Right.
how to take care of the dog.
Agree.
Because
I agree.
if you don't take care of your dog, it could be fatal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we love our babies so much that we want to make sure that not only do they have a great life, but they want to, they're trusting in us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, and the funny thing is like back in the day, you would avoid places because you had pit bulls. Mm-hmm. And so for me now, my wife and I, we go down to Burlingame Avenue and walk our dogs because you want distractions. Like, you want them to see all these people, and the minute they turn their head, you're like, hey, and they're like, oh, we gotta stay next to mom and dad. We
Nice.
can't act up. And,
Yeah.
and the funny thing is that you go down Burlingame Avenue, you got all these little fucking Napoleon dogs
Hyperallergenic.
that are just
Relax,
like
bro.
crazy.
There's nothing wrong with hypoallergenic dogs. Shout out to you, Benny boy.
Yeah, shout out to Benny.
No, I'm sure, but and that's the thing, right? So you have my dogs that are 75 and 100 pounds, and we're walking them, and then they're fine, and all of a sudden you got Scrappy Doo fucking pumping his chest.
Puppy power.
With
and so-
a turtleneck on, like, relax, bro.
Yeah. So, but you want to be around distractions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
you want to test it. Yeah.
You want to test it. And so, like, my asshole's this big sometimes,
Yeah.
because I'm worried.
All the time. Yeah. No.
But so you got to have faith, and that's the name of our dogs, Faith and Creed. And so
That's right.
They're looking at me right now. Or Ramel's burrito. Either one.
Probably you.
nah, dude,
Because I'll fight them for that burrito.
we feed them raw.
Oh, you do a raw diet.
We do a raw diet.
That's dope.
It's crazy. Like the poo's consistent. It's like cat poo. Like, it's tiny. It don't smell. It's just.
Dude, my dog has I feel like sometimes I'm picking up my own shit. It's weird.
Yeah, I got to get that thought out of me. 'Cause, dude, I can imagine the shit you eat and what you shit.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, did I do this? Was this Benny? Either way, I gotta pick it up.
Salmon pizza.
I don't remember eating corn.
So, I want to thank you both for being here.
Definitely.
I love and appreciate it. And this isn't the end of it. I mean, like I said, like Jay said, there's going to be accountability on both ends, and we'll see where this goes.
I'm very fortunate just to sit here and watch the interaction, because, like I said, Rommel would always speak highly of his times here, and just to see how much he called you an a-hole during this whole thing, and then he's still standing, but then, like you said, there's a person in between them. I'm very.
That's why I'm here.
Exactly.
Definitely wasn't for me talking.
He's like he's like the same Steve from fucking Jerry Springer. Just breaking
Bald
people
in
up.
here.
Yep.
No, that's bullshit, because Steve can talk.
Yeah.
Now,
Steve
yeah.
can't talk.
Wilkos.
Yeah. He can't talk. He's not talking right now. He can't talk.
You didn't ask me anything, so
Well, because we know you can talk.
that's.
And
No, I won't shut up. Is what it is.
it's dope to see it all come together, and then where he really speaks highly of this spot, and then just to see it full circle, because I know Mark, but I don't know Mark to this capacity, and then just to see how the family you guys created here is dope, and then I'm happy to see he's in good hands with y'all.
Man, you can sit here and praise me all you want. When is your ass coming?
Oh, you know, I got to check on the checking. You know.
Man, you must know my buddy Rommel.
Too well.
I know Alberto. Shout out to Alberto. Trying to get that HELOC.
Jay, do you have any last words for anyone?
No, I just really appreciate you guys taking the time and, you know, kind of giving us this opportunity to kind of share some laughs. I mean, that's
Right.
just really what it came down to, right? Like, I understand there's a business part of this that, you know, all our platforms, but I don't even know how to use those things, you know, so I don't really care about the platforms. I care about the relationships.
Right.
I care about the authenticity of laughter. And, you know, you know a very, very good friend of mine, you know, Alberto Zamudio, like I said, love his family, spent many good times with him, and maybe that's for the rated R.
Yeah. That's on the OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Limo's on you, Alberto.
Yeah. But it's great to be able to, you know, share this moment with you know, Coach Steve, and really, you know, one of the most important people in my life, you know, not just, you know, from this business standpoint, but as a friend. Like, he's just a solid dude, you know. And so, and, you know, like I said, knowing Rommel for 13 years and being able to laugh, and, you know, that's the other thing, right? Like, Rommel was so successful at losing the weight, and they always say it's easy to get to the top, it's easy to become a champion, but to stay there is another story. And so, you know, with the grace of God and how this journey kind of came back, you know, Rommel is going to take control of his life, and I'm just happy that he trusts in us, and we can be a part of it.
It was a delicious journey, but here we are.
Anyone wants to sign up for classes, what's the best way to contact? What's the website? What's the best way to reach out to you guys to enroll for everyone else, not me?
Yeah.
What's the website? The
website's actually, it's www.evolvetrainingcenter, all one word, .com.
You guys also have an IG, right?
Yes, that's Evolve Training Center also.
Yeah, nice. And Steve, do you have any last words for anyone?
Or first words, you know.
First words, yeah.
First words.
Hi, my name is Steve.
Hi, I'm Steve. I'm the one that introduced them. No, just dust off your blue belt, get your gi. We'll see you when you get here.
Fuck. All right. See that? Now I'm scared. I have to say that it is all love with Jay and Steve, with Coach Mark, Jane. They've been with me through a lot of tough times in my life, and they helped me get through a lot of things that I didn't think I could get through. So I think it's gonna be fun to go through it again. Maybe not as fun to have it in the public's eye, but like Jay said, accountability is where it's at, and it's about that time. Let's fucking do it.
Yeah, just quit talking about it. Let's do that shit.
Episode 168, FREE99 podcast.
Appreciate you guys.
Love. Thank you.
Love.
Thank you, sir.
For sure.
Thank you,
All
sir.
right, fellas.
Thank you.